A noun is one of the fundamental parts of speech in grammar, and it refers to a word that identifies a person, place, thing, animal, or idea. Nouns function as the main elements in sentences, acting as subjects, objects, or complements. Let's break down the concept of a noun in a detailed way. Types of nouns. Proper nouns. These are names of specific people, places, or organizations. Examples: John, London, Google. They are always capitalized. Common nouns. These refer to general items or entities, not specific names. Examples: car, city, company. They are not capitalized unless they start a sentence. Concrete nouns. These are nouns that you can experience through the five senses: sight, smell, touch, taste, hearing. Examples: apple, dog, music. Abstract nouns. These refer to ideas, qualities, or concepts that cannot be touched or seen but exist as thoughts or emotions. Examples: love, freedom, justice. Countable nouns. These nouns can be counted and usually have both singular and plural forms. Examples: book/books, apples/apples. Uncountable, mass, nouns. These nouns cannot be counted and do not have a plural form. They represent things that are seen as whole masses. Examples: water, rice, information. Collective nouns. These refer to a group of people, animals, or things taken as one whole. Examples: team, herd, bunch. Possessive nouns. These show ownership or possession. Formed by adding an apostrophe and sometimes an s. Examples: John's car, the dog's leash. Functions of nouns in sentences. As a subject, the noun performs the action or is the main topic of the sentence. Example: the cat is sleeping. As an object, the noun receives the action of the verb. Example: she kicked the ball. As a complement, complements give more information about the subject or object. Example: he is a teacher. As an appositive, this is when a noun further explains or identifies another noun. Example: my brother, a doctor, lives in New York. Singular versus plural nouns. Singular nouns. These refer to one entity, e.g., dog, house. Plural nouns. These refer to more than one entity, usually formed by adding s or es, e.g., dogs, houses. Some plural nouns are irregular, e.g., children, feet. Compound nouns. These are nouns made up of two or more words functioning as a single noun. Examples: toothbrush, fire truck, mother-in-law. Gender of nouns. Nouns can have gender, especially in languages like French or Spanish, but even in English, some nouns indicate gender: masculine, king, actor; feminine, queen, actress; neutral/common, person, teacher. Case in nouns. Nominative case, when the noun is the subject of the sentence. Example: John runs fast. Objective case, when the noun is the object of the verb. Example: she saw John. Possessive case, when the noun shows ownership. Example: this is John's book. Noun modifiers. Nouns can be modified by adjectives: the red apple, articles, a dog, the dog. Other nouns: football field. Key points: countability. Some nouns can be counted, e.g., 3 apples, while others cannot, e.g., milk. Inflection. Nouns can change form to indicate plurality or possession. E.g., dogs, dogs. Examples of nouns in sentences: person, Sarah went to the store. Place, they visited Paris last year. Thing, I need a new laptop. Idea, happiness is important for a good life. Summary: a noun is a word that names something. It can be classified based on various criteria, such as whether it refers to something specific, proper versus common, whether it can be counted, countable versus uncountable, or whether it names a physical object or an abstract concept, concrete versus abstract. A verb is a fundamental part of speech in the English language, and most languages, that expresses an action, occurrence, or state of being. Verbs are the backbone of sentences because they convey what the subject is doing, experiencing, or being. To understand verbs in detail, let's explore their various types, forms, functions, and some key concepts related to them. 1. Types of verbs. Verbs can be categorized into different types based on how they function in a sentence. A. Action verbs. These verbs describe a physical or mental action. They tell what the subject is actively doing. Physical action: run, jump, swim, write, dance. Example: she runs every morning. Mental action: think. Believe, understand, decide. Example: he believes in equality. B. Linking verbs. Linking verbs do not express action. Instead, they connect the subject of the sentence to additional information about the subject, usually an adjective or noun. The most common linking verb is to be in its various forms: am, is, are, was, were, etc., but others include seem, become, appear, and feel. Example: she is a doctor. Example: the cake smells delicious. C. Helping, auxiliary, verbs. Helping verbs are used with a main verb to create different tenses, moods, or voices. Common helping verbs include be, do, have, and modals like can, will, should, may. Example: I am going to the store. Example: she has finished her work. D. Modal verbs. Modal verbs express necessity, possibility, permission, or ability. These verbs are used alongside a main verb without changing its form. Examples: can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, would. Example: you should try this dish. Example: they must finish their homework. 2. Forms of verbs. Verbs appear in different forms to indicate different tenses, voices, or moods. The primary forms of verbs are: base form. This is the basic form of the verb, used in the present tense or with modal verbs. Example: I walk to school. B. Past form. This form is used for actions that have already happened. Regular verbs: add, ed, e.g., walk, walked. Irregular verbs: change form, e.g., go, went. Example: she walked to school yesterday. C. Past participle. Used in perfect tenses and passive voice, this form often ends in ed for regular verbs but varies for irregular verbs. Example: regular verb: she has walked to school. Example: irregular verb: he has gone to the park. D. Present participle, formed by adding ing to the base verb. This form is used for continuous tenses. Example: they are walking to the park. 3. Tenses of verbs. Verb tenses indicate when an action takes place. There are 3 basic tenses: present, past, and future, with 4 aspects: simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. For each, present tense, simple present, describes habitual actions or general truths. Example: she eats breakfast at 8 a.m. Present continuous describes actions happening right now or temporary situations. Example: she is eating breakfast right now. Present perfect describes actions that have been completed at some point in the past but are relevant to the present. Example: she has eaten breakfast. Present perfect continuous describes actions that began in the past and are still ongoing. Example: she has been eating for 30 minutes. B. Past tense, simple past, describes completed actions that occurred at a specific time in the past. Example: she ate breakfast at 8 a.m. yesterday. Past continuous describes ongoing actions that were happening at a specific moment in the past. Example: she was eating breakfast when I called. B. Past tense, simple past, describes completed actions that occurred at a specific time in the past. Example: she ate breakfast at 8 a.m. yesterday. Past continuous describes ongoing actions that were happening at a specific moment in the past. Example: she was eating breakfast when I called. Past perfect describes actions completed before another action in the past. Example: She had eaten breakfast before the meeting. Past perfect continuous, describes ongoing actions that were happening up until another point in the past. Example, she had been eating for 30 minutes before I arrived. See, future tense, simple future, describes actions that will happen in the future. Example, she will eat breakfast tomorrow. Future continuous, describes ongoing actions that will be happening at a specific moment in the future. Example, she will be eating breakfast when you arrive. Future perfect, describes actions that will be completed by a certain future time. Example, she will have eaten breakfast by 9 a.m. Future perfect continuous, describes actions that will be ongoing up until a certain future time. Example, she will have been eating for 30 minutes by the time you arrive. 4. Voice of verbs, verb. Voice indicates the relationship between the action and the subject. Active voice, in the active voice, the subject performs the action of the verb. Example, the teacher explains the lesson. B. Passive voice, in the passive voice, the action is performed on the subject, often to emphasize the action or the recipient rather than the doer. Example, the lesson is explained by the teacher. 5. Mood of verbs. Verb mood expresses the speaker's attitude toward the action or state described by the verb. Indicative mood, used for statements of fact or questions. Example, she eats breakfast. B. Imperative mood, used for commands or requests. Example, eat your breakfast. C. Subjunctive mood, used to express wishes, hypotheticals, or actions that are contrary to fact. Example, if I were you, I would eat breakfast. 6. Transitive versus intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs. These verbs take a direct object, meaning they transfer action to something else. Example, she reads a book. Intransitive verbs. These verbs do not take a direct object, the action stays with the subject. Example, he sleeps soundly. 7. Phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are combinations of a verb and one or more particles, prepositions or adverbs, that together create a specific meaning. Example, give up, to quit, look after, to take care of. Example, he gave up smoking. 8. Gerunds and infinitives. Gerunds, the ing form of a verb used as a noun. Example, swimming is fun. Infinitives, the to form of the verb, which can function as a noun, adjective, or adverb. Example, she wants to swim. In summary, verbs are incredibly versatile and vital components of language. They provide the action or state of being that helps structure and give meaning to sentences. Understanding verbs, their types, forms, tenses, moods, and voices is essential for mastering language and communication. An adverb is a word that modifies or describes a verb, an adjective, another adverb, or even an entire sentence. It provides additional information about how, when, where, why, to what extent, or under what conditions something happens. Adverbs add detail and clarity to sentences, making them more expressive. Types of adverbs, adverbs of manner, how, these describe how an action is performed. Examples, quickly, slowly, carefully. Sentence, she ran quickly. Adverbs of time, when, these tell us when an action occurs. Examples, yesterday, now, soon, later. Sentence, we will leave soon. Adverbs of place, where. These indicate the location or direction of an action. Examples, here, there, everywhere, inside. Sentence, the children are playing outside. Adverbs of frequency, how often, these describe how often something happens. Examples, always, never, sometimes, rarely. Sentence, she always wakes up early. Adverbs of degree, to what extent, these show the intensity or degree of an action. Adjective, or adverb. Examples, very, to, quite, almost. Sentence, he is very tired. Interrogative adverbs, questions, these are used to ask questions about time, place, manner, or reason. Examples, when, where, how, why. sentence. Why are you late? Relative adverbs, these introduce relative clauses and relate to time, place, or reason. Examples: where, when, why. Sentence: this is the place where we met. Position of adverbs in a sentence, beginning of a sentence, often used for emphasis. Tomorrow, we will go to the park. Middle of a sentence, often placed after the verb or between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. She quickly finished her homework. End of a sentence, common for adverbs of manner, place, or time. He drove the car carefully. Formation of adverbs. Most adverbs are formed by adding ly to adjectives: quick, quickly, careful, carefully. However, some adverbs do not follow this pattern: fast, adjective, fast, adverb. Good, adjective, well, adverb. Adverbs versus adjectives. Adjectives modify nouns or pronouns, describing a person, place, or thing. She is a careful driver. Adjective describes the noun, driver. Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs, describing how something happens. She drives carefully. Adverb describes how she drives. Common mistakes: confusing adjectives with adverbs. Incorrect: she sings good. Correct: she sings well. Double negatives: avoid using two negative adverbs. Incorrect: she doesn't do nothing. Correct: she doesn't do anything. Here are several examples of adverbial clauses, each illustrating different types. 1. Adverbial clauses of time. When: I will call you after I finish my homework. She started cooking when she got home. We will leave as soon as the movie ends. 2. Adverbial clauses of place. Where: she goes wherever he goes. You can sit where you like. The kids are playing where we used to play as children. 3. Adverbial clauses of reason. Why: he didn't come to work because he was sick. She stayed home since it was raining heavily. As the weather was bad, we cancelled the trip. 4. Adverbial clauses of manner. How: she looked at me as if I had said something wrong. He drives as his father taught him. They acted as though they were best friends. 5. Adverbial clauses of condition. Under what condition? I will go if I have enough time. You can borrow the car provided that you return it by 10 p.m. She won't attend the party unless she gets an invitation. 6. Adverbial clauses of purpose. For what purpose? She is saving money so that she can travel next year. He studied hard in order that he could pass the exam. I left early so that I wouldn't be late. 7. Adverbial clauses of concession. Despite what? Although he was tired, he kept working. She went for a walk even though it was raining. Though he tried his best, he didn't win the race. 8. Adverbial clauses of comparison. How much? To what extent? She runs faster than I do. He is not as tall as his brother. She spoke as if she knew everything. Summary example with multiple clauses. Although it was raining. Concession: we went for a walk because we had promised our friends. Reason: and we stayed out until it started getting dark. Time: in each of these examples, the adverbial clause provides crucial details about time, place, reason, manner, condition, purpose, concession, or comparison. Pronouns are a class of words that substitute for nouns or noun phrases in sentences. They are a fundamental part of language, helping us avoid repetitive use of nouns and making speech and writing more fluid. Pronouns can refer to people, objects, places, or even abstract concepts. They provide clarity about who or what is being discussed without needing to repeat the same nouns. Types of pronouns. Personal pronouns. These refer to specific people or things and change based on factors like person, first, second, third, number, singular, plural, gender, and case. Subjective, objective, possessive, subjective, nominative, case, used when the pronoun is the subject of the sentence. Examples: I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Sentence: he is going to the store. Objective case, used when the pronoun is the object of the verb or preposition. Examples: me, you, him, her, it, us, them. Sentence: the teacher gave them homework. Possessive case, used to show ownership or possession. Examples: my, your, his, her, its, our, their. Sentence: this is her book. Reflexive pronouns. These refer back to the subject of the sentence and are used when the subject and the object are the same entity. Examples: myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. Sentence: she taught herself to play the piano. Demonstrative pronouns, these point to specific things or people. Examples: this, that, these, those. Sentence: this is my favorite book. Interrogative pronouns, used to ask questions. Examples: who, whom, whose, which, what. Sentence: who is coming to the party. Relative pronouns, these connect clauses or phrases to nouns or other pronouns. Examples: who, whom, whose, which, that. Sentence: the book that you gave me is excellent. Indefinite pronouns. These refer to nonspecific people or things. Examples: anyone, everyone, someone, nobody. Nothing, everything. Sentence: everyone is welcome to the meeting. Reciprocal pronouns, these express mutual actions or relationships. Examples: each other, one another. Sentence: the two friends helped each other with their homework. Pronouns in terms of gender. Pronouns have traditionally been linked to gender in many languages, particularly English. For example, he and him refer to males, while she and her refer to females. However, gender-neutral pronouns like they/them are increasingly being used to refer to people who do not identify strictly as male or female, or when the gender of the person is unknown. He/him, his, traditionally used for males; she, her, hers, traditionally used for females; they, them, theirs, used as gender-neutral pronouns for individuals or groups, and increasingly recognized as appropriate for non-binary or genderqueer individuals. Function and importance of pronouns. Clarity and precision. Pronouns help clarify who or what we are referring to without constantly repeating names or nouns. For instance, instead of saying, John said John will come to John's house, you can say, John said he will come to his house. Fluidity in speech. Pronouns make language smoother. Constant repetition of nouns can make communication clunky, so pronouns help simplify sentence structure. Respect for identity. In terms of gender identity, using the correct pronouns is important for respecting and acknowledging how individuals identify themselves. It promotes inclusion and recognition of diverse gender expressions. Efficiency in communication. Pronouns allow for quicker, more direct communication, especially when context is clear. For example, in a story about Sarah, after introducing her, we don't need to repeat her name. Sarah went to the store. She bought milk. Examples of pronouns in use. Personal pronoun: John loves his dog. The pronoun his refers to John. Reflexive pronoun: I made this cake myself. Myself refers back to the subject, I. Demonstrative pronoun: these are my shoes. These refers to a specific set of shoes. Interrogative pronoun: whose bag is this? Whose is asking about possession. Relative pronoun: the girl who won the race is my friend. Who connects the noun girl to the clause won the race. Indefinite pronoun: everyone enjoyed the party. Everyone refers to a nonspecific group of people. Evolving use of pronouns. In modern times, pronouns have become central to conversations about gender identity and inclusivity. For instance, many people share their pronouns, e.g., he/him, she/her, they/them, in professional settings or social media to signal respect for individual identities. Additionally, gender-neutral pronouns have emerged in many languages to promote inclusivity. Overall, pronouns are small but vital linguistic tools that play a big role in how we communicate, express relationships, and demonstrate respect for identity. Now, let's delve deeper into pronouns, exploring their intricacies, how they function in different contexts, and their evolving usage in modern language. particularly regarding gender identity, detailed breakdown of pronouns by type, personal pronouns, subjective, objective, and possessive. Personal pronouns are the most commonly used type. Their forms change depending on whether they are performing an action, subject, receiving an action, object, or indicating possession. First-person pronouns, these refer to the speaker or group including the speaker, subjective, singular, we, plural, objective, me, singular, us, plural, possessive, my/mine, singular, our/ours, plural, example, I went to the store. I is the subject. Second-person pronouns, these refer to the person or people being spoken to, subjective and objective, you, singular/plural, possessive, your/yours, example, you are coming with us. You can be singular or plural, depending on context. Third-person pronouns, these refer to people or things that are neither the speaker nor the person being spoken to, subjective, he, she, it, singular, they, plural, objective, him, her. It, singular, them, plural, possessive, his, her/hers, its, singular, their/theirs, plural, example, he likes his coffee black. He is the subject, his indicates possession. Forms of possession, my car, adjective form showing ownership, the car is mine, noun form showing ownership without repeating the noun, reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns are used when the subject and the object of the sentence are the same, meaning the action is directed back at the subject, myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. Example, she prepared herself for the meeting. The subject, she, is the same person being referred to by herself. Reflexive pronouns are also used for emphasis. Known as intensive pronouns, example, I myself don't agree with that. Used to emphasize the subject, demonstrative pronouns, these point out specific items and help distinguish between objects or ideas. The choice of demonstrative pronoun depends on proximity, near or far, and number, singular or plural, this, that, singular, these, those, plural, example, this is delicious. Referring to something near or present. Usage nuance, this and these refer to items that are near in space or time, while that and those refer to items that are farther away, example, these cookies are fresh, but those on the counter are stale. Interrogative pronouns, these are used in questions to ask about specific people or things, who, whom, whose, which, what, example, who is at the door, who versus whom, who refers to the subject of a sentence, the person performing the action, whom refers to the object of a verb or preposition, the person receiving the action, example, who gave you the book, versus whom did you give the book to, whose, this is used to ask about possession, example, whose jacket is this? Relative pronouns, these link clauses or phrases to a noun or pronoun mentioned earlier in the sentence. They help to provide additional information, who, whom, whose, which, that, example, the student who studied hard passed the exam. The relative pronoun, who, connects student with the clause, studied hard, that, versus, which, that is used for essential clauses, information that is necessary for the sentence to make sense, which is used for non-essential clauses. Additional information that can be omitted without changing the sentence's meaning, example, the car that is parked outside is mine, essential, the car, which is red, is mine, non-essential, indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns refer to nonspecific people or things. They can be singular or plural, and sometimes both depending on usage, singular, anyone, everyone, someone, no one, nobody, plural, several, few, both, many, can be either, all, any, most, some, example, everyone is invited to the party. Indefinite pronouns don't specify exactly who, singular versus plural in context, all can refer to a singular or plural subject depending on context. Example, all of the cake is gone. Versus, all of the guests have arrived. Reciprocal pronouns, these express a mutual relationship or action between two or more people, each other, for two people, one another, for more than two people. Example, the teammates congratulated each other after the game. Pronouns and gender identity. In recent years, pronouns have become an important part of conversations around gender identity and inclusivity. This involves recognizing that language is evolving to reflect a broader spectrum of gender identities beyond the binary he, male, and she, female. They slash them as singular. Historically, they has been used to refer to a group, but it is now widely accepted as a singular pronoun to refer to a person whose gender is unknown or who identifies as non-binary. Example, Sam said they are coming to the meeting later. Refers to a single person using gender-neutral pronouns. This usage emphasizes inclusivity in respect for individual identities, pronouns and social implications. In addition to their grammatical function, pronouns carry social significance. Here's why they matter. Cultural sensitivity. Using correct pronouns acknowledges the diversity of gender identities and can help avoid misgendering someone, which can be hurtful. Professional settings. Many workplaces and institutions encourage individuals to share their pronouns, e.g., in email signatures, to foster an inclusive environment. Legal and institutional recognition. Some governments and organizations recognize the importance of pronouns in legal documents and IDs. Allowing individuals to list non-binary or gender-neutral pronouns. Conclusion: pronouns are essential tools for efficient, respectful communication. Beyond grammar, they are a reflection of how language adapts to cultural changes, especially with regard to gender identity and inclusion. Understanding and using pronouns correctly is not just about linguistic accuracy, but about fostering inclusivity, empathy, and clarity in communication. What are adjectives? Adjectives are words that modify nouns or pronouns, providing more detail about them. They can describe qualities, quantities, colors, sizes, shapes, and much more. By using adjectives, we can create vivid images in the reader's or listener's mind, making our communication clearer and more engaging. Detailed types of adjectives. 1. Descriptive adjectives. These adjectives provide specific information about the characteristics of a noun. Examples: beautiful, interesting, cold, tall, intelligent. Usage: descriptive adjectives can convey physical attributes, emotions, or subjective assessments. Example sentences: the beautiful sunset lit up the sky, she gave an interesting presentation. 2. Quantitative adjectives. Quantitative adjectives indicate the quantity or amount of the noun they modify. Examples: all, some, few, several, many, no. Usage: they help to quantify nouns without specifying an exact number. Example sentences: there are many options available, I have few friends in the city. 3. Demonstrative adjectives. These adjectives point to specific items or people. Examples: this, that, these, those. Usage: they help indicate specific nouns in relation to the speakers. Location or context. Example sentences: this book is fascinating, those apples look ripe. 4. Possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives show ownership or possession. Examples: my, your, his, her, its, our, their. Usage: they modify nouns to indicate to whom something belongs. Example sentences: my sister is coming to visit, is this your jacket? 5. Interrogative adjectives. Interrogative adjectives are used to ask questions about nouns. Examples: which, what, whose. Usage: they are often used in questions to gather information. Example sentences: which movie do you want to watch? What color do you prefer? 6. Indefinite adjectives. Indefinite adjectives provide nonspecific information about the noun. Examples: some, any, many, few, several. Usage, they refer to nouns in a general sense, example sentences, some people prefer coffee over tea, several students passed the exam, 7. Comparative and superlative adjectives, used to compare two nouns, often formed by adding or using more. Examples, taller, faster, smarter, more interesting, example sentence, she is smarter than her brother. Superlative adjectives, used to compare three or more nouns, often formed by adding est or using most. Examples, tallest, fastest, smartest, most interesting, example sentence, he is the tallest player on the team. Functions of adjectives, adjectives serve several important functions in sentences. Attributive position, adjectives can be placed directly before the noun they modify. This is the most common position for adjectives. Example, the happy child played in the park. Predicative position, adjectives can also follow a linking verb, describing the subject of the sentence. Example, the child is happy. Complement, adjectives can act as complements in a sentence, providing necessary information about the subject. Example, the soup tastes delicious. Order of adjectives, when using multiple adjectives, they typically follow a specific order. This order is important for clarity in natural-sounding English, quantity or number, for example, 3, several, quality or opinion, for example, beautiful, interesting, size, for example, small, large, age, for example, old, new, shape, for example, round, square, color, for example, blue, red, origin, for example, American, French, material, for example, wooden, plastic, purpose, for example, sleeping, as in sleeping bag, racing, as in racing car, example, I bought a couple of beautiful large old round red Italian ceramic vases, using adjectives to enhance writing. Vivid descriptions, use adjectives to create vivid imagery in your writing. Instead of saying the dog, you could say the playful, brown dog. Show, don't tell, instead of telling readers how a character feels, use adjectives to show it. Telling, she was scared, showing, her pale face and shaky hands revealed her deep fear. Create mood, the choice of adjectives can help set the tone or mood of your writing. Example, the dark, stormy night felt ominous. Common mistakes with adjectives, double comparatives/superlatives, avoid using both more and the ending. Incorrect, she is more taller than her friend. Correct, she is taller than her friend. Misplaced adjectives, ensure adjectives are placed correctly to avoid confusion. Incorrect, the dog almost ran away from me. Correct, the dog ran away from me almost. Redundancy, avoid using adjectives that are repetitive or unnecessary. Incorrect, she is a very unique person. Correct, she is a unique person. Practice exercises, identify and classify. Read the following sentences and identify the adjectives. Classify them into their respective types, descriptive, demonstrative, etc. Example, the tall building is red. Adjectives, tall, descriptive, red, descriptive. Create sentences using the following adjectives. Exciting, few, this, my. Example response, this book is exciting and I have few copies left. Rewrite for variety, rewrite the following sentence by adding more adjectives. Original, the car is fast. Example response, the sleek, black sports car is incredibly fast. Tips for using adjectives, be specific, choose adjectives that precisely describe what you want to convey. Instead of saying a car, you might say a sleek, black, sports car. Avoid redundancy, avoid using adjectives that are repetitive or unnecessary. Instead of saying a round circle, just say a circle. Vary your language, using a variety of adjectives can make your writing more engaging. Instead of repeating good, you might use excellent, fantastic, or superb. Use adjectives for emphasis. Adjectives can help emphasize a point or feeling. Example, she was absolutely thrilled with the surprise party. Conclusion, understanding adjectives and how to use them effectively can significantly enhance your communication skills in English. They allow for richer descriptions and clearer expressions of ideas, feelings, and characteristics. By practicing the various types of adjectives, their correct placement, and the order in which they appear, you can improve both your written and spoken English. A preposition is a word that links a noun, pronoun, or noun phrase to other words in a sentence, typically to indicate relationships such as direction, location, time, cause, or manner. Prepositions are essential for giving clarity and detail to sentences by showing how different elements are related to each other. Key functions of prepositions: location, they tell us where something is in relation to something else. Example, the book is on the table. Shows location, direction, they indicate movement or the direction something is moving in. Example, she is walking toward the park. Shows direction, time, prepositions can be used to indicate time or the relationship of events. Example, we will meet at 5 p.m., shows specific time, manner, agent, or instrument, they describe how something is done, by whom, or with what. Example, he fixed it with a hammer. Shows instrument, cause or purpose, prepositions may express why something happens or the purpose behind an action. Example, she was fined for speeding. Shows cause, common prepositions, place, at, on, in, near, above, under, between, behind, she is in the room, time, at, on, in, since, during, before, after, I will call you after dinner, direction/movement, to, from, into, toward, through, across, he ran across the street, agent, by, with, via, the book was written by her. Prepositional phrases. A prepositional phrase is a group of words that starts with a preposition and ends with a noun or pronoun, the object of the preposition. These phrases provide additional details about the action or state described in the sentence. Example, the cat is sleeping under the table. Under the table is a prepositional phrase showing location. Types of prepositions: simple prepositions. These are single-word prepositions like at, by, for, in, of, on, to, up, with, he is standing by the door. Compound prepositions. These are prepositions formed by combining two or more words, often used to express more complex relationships. The cat jumped out of the box. Double prepositions. These involve two prepositions used together, often to describe complex relationships. The dog ran out from behind the house. Phrase prepositions, also known as prepositional phrases, they are groups of words that function as a preposition. Examples, according to, because of, in spite of, with regard to, she left early because of the weather. Participle prepositions. Some participles, verbs acting as adjectives, function as prepositions. Concerning, regarding, considering the situation, we should wait. Rules for using prepositions. Position. Prepositions generally come before their objects. She sat on the chair. However, in informal language or questions, they might appear at the end. What are you talking about? Avoid redundancy. Some prepositions are often incorrectly used where they are unnecessary. Incorrect. Where is the meeting at? Correct. Where is the meeting? Choosing the right preposition. Prepositions are often tied to certain words, and their usage can vary between British and American English. In British English, she's in the hospital. In American English, she's at the hospital. Prepositions versus conjunctions. While both prepositions and conjunctions connect ideas, prepositions link nouns or pronouns to other parts of a sentence, whereas conjunctions connect clauses or sentences. Preposition, he is sitting on the chair. Conjunction, I like pizza because it tastes good. Example sentences, place. The book is on the shelf. Time, I will see you at noon. Direction, she moved towards the door. Manner, he completed the task with care. Reason, she was praised for her efforts. Summary, prepositions are small but powerful words that show relationships between different parts of a sentence, especially concerning time, place, and direction. They provide essential information and help sentences make sense by linking nouns or pronouns to other parts of the sentence in meaningful ways. Conjunctions. A conjunction is a word used to connect clauses, sentences, phrases, or words in a sentence. Conjunctions are essential for creating complex and coherent sentences, allowing thoughts to flow more naturally by linking ideas and showing their relationship. Types of conjunctions: coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, correlative conjunctions, conjunctive adverbs. 1. Coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions connect words, phrases, or clauses that are grammatically equal or similar in structure. They are often used to join two independent clauses, which could stand alone as sentences, or to link elements within a sentence. The 7 coordinating conjunctions, these can be remembered with the acronym FANBOYS. 4. Explains reason or purpose. I brought an umbrella, for it looked like rain, and adds information. I like apples, and I like oranges. Nor connects two negative options. She doesn't like tea, nor does she like coffee, but shows contrast. He wanted to go, but he was too tired, or presents alternatives. Do you want tea or coffee? Yet shows contrast, like but, it was cold, yet they went swimming. So shows cause or result, it was late, so we left. Examples, words, she likes coffee and tea. Phrases, we went to the store and bought groceries. Clauses, he tried to fix the car, but it still wouldn't start. 2. Subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions connect a dependent clause, also called a subordinate clause, to an independent clause. A dependent clause cannot stand alone as a sentence because it relies on the independent clause for its full meaning. Subordinating conjunctions show the relationship between these clauses, such as time, cause, condition, contrast, or reason. Common subordinating conjunctions: time, after, before, when, while, since, until, as soon as, we will leave after the meeting ends, cause/reason, because, since, as, in order that, she stayed home because she was feeling sick. Condition, if, unless, provided that, I will come if it stops raining. Contrast/concession, although, even though, whereas, she attended the meeting, although she was tired. Purpose, so that, in order that, he exercises so that he can stay healthy. Examples, after the meeting, we will go to dinner. Time, she stayed home because she wasn't feeling well. Cause, I will help you if you need assistance. Condition. 3. Correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions are paired conjunctions that work together to link two related elements in a sentence. These elements are typically parallel in structure, meaning that the parts joined by correlative conjunctions must match in terms of grammatical construction, e.g., 2 nouns, 2 phrases. Common correlative conjunctions: both, and, both dogs and cats make great pets. Either, or, you can have either soup or salad. Neither, nor, neither he nor his brother was present. Not only, but also, she is not only smart but also hardworking. Whether, or, I can't decide whether to go out or stay home. Examples, both the teacher and the students were excited. Either you study hard, or you will fail the exam. Not only is he a talented musician, but he also writes great songs. 4. Conjunctive adverbs. Conjunctive adverbs function somewhat like coordinating conjunctions, but they link two independent clauses more formally and often provide more specific meaning regarding time, cause-effect, contrast, or additional information. Common conjunctive adverbs: addition, also, besides, furthermore, moreover, I am tired, besides, I need to wake up early tomorrow, contrast, however. Nevertheless, nonetheless, still, on the other hand, he didn't study, however, he passed the exam, cause/effect, therefore, consequently, as a result, thus, she missed the bus, therefore, she was late, time/sequence, then, next, finally, afterward, meanwhile, we finished dinner. Then, we watched a movie. Punctuation note: when a conjunctive adverb joins two independent clauses, it is usually preceded by a semicolon, and followed by a comma symbol. Example, he loves pizza, however, he is on a diet. Functions of conjunctions: connecting words, I like coffee and tea. Connecting phrases, she went to the store and bought groceries. Connecting clauses, he didn't come to the party because he was sick. Placement of conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions typically go between the words or clauses they are connecting. He likes to swim, and he enjoys running. Subordinating conjunctions usually come at the beginning of the dependent clause, but they can appear at the beginning or middle of a sentence. Although it was raining, we went for a walk. We went for a walk, although it was raining. Correlative conjunctions come in pairs, and the elements they connect must be parallel in structure. He is both funny and smart. Examples of conjunctions in sentences: coordinating conjunctions, I wanted to go for a run, but it was raining. She can either come with us, or she can stay home. Subordinating conjunctions, she didn't attend the meeting because she was feeling ill. You can go outside once you finish your homework. Correlative conjunctions, either we leave now, or we miss the train. She is not only a good singer, but also a talented dancer. Conjunctive adverbs, I didn't study for the test, nevertheless, I passed. We were tired, however, we decided to go out. Rules and tips for using conjunctions: avoid starting sentences with conjunctions. In formal writing, although in informal speech and writing, it is increasingly common to start sentences with conjunctions like and, but, or so, in. Formal writing, it's typically better to join the sentences or use a different construction. Informal, but I was late. Formal, however, I was late. Parallelism, when using conjunctions, especially correlative ones. Ensure the structures on both sides of the conjunction are grammatically parallel. Incorrect, she likes not only swimming but also to run. Correct, she likes not only swimming but also running. Punctuation, when coordinating conjunctions join two independent clauses, use a comma before the conjunction. Example, I wanted to leave, but he asked me to stay. With conjunctive adverbs, use a semicolon before and a comma after the adverb when joining two independent clauses. Example, he didn't like the food, therefore, he didn't finish it. Summary, conjunctions are crucial elements in English grammar that allow us to connect words, phrases, clauses, and ideas. They help clarify relationships between thoughts, such as time, reason, contrast, or addition. By using different types of conjunctions, coordinating, subordinating, correlative, and conjunctive adverbs, we can create more complex, nuanced, and interesting sentences. Interjections. An interjection is a part of speech that expresses a sudden or strong emotion or reaction, often standing alone in a sentence or forming a minor part of the sentence. Interjections are unique in that they do not have a grammatical function in the sentence but serve primarily to convey feelings. They can express emotions like surprise, disgust, excitement, joy, anger, and more. Key features of interjections: expression of emotion. Interjections are used to convey the speaker's immediate feelings or reactions, such as surprise, wow, pain, ouch, joy, hooray, anger, damn, disappointment, oh no. Standalone words or phrases. Interjections are often single words or short phrases, and in many cases, they can be the only word in a sentence. They do not modify any other words and are often set apart by punctuation. Hey, oops, oh, good grief, lack of grammatical relation. Interjections are typically not grammatically connected to other parts of a sentence. They don't play the role of subjects, verbs, objects, or modifiers. Instead, they are independent, providing emotional context. Example, wow, that's amazing. Wow is not connected to the rest of the sentence grammatically but conveys an emotional reaction to the statement. Punctuation. Interjections are usually followed by an exclamation mark when conveying strong emotions, or a comma if the emotion is less intense. Yikes! That was scary. Strong emotion, well, I suppose we can try again. Milder emotion, position in a sentence. While interjections are commonly placed at the beginning of a sentence, they can also be found in the middle or at the end, depending on how the speaker wants to express the emotion. Oh no! I forgot my keys. Beginning, well, didn't expect that to happen. Middle, I can't believe this, wow. End. Types of interjections. Primary interjections. These are words that are solely used as interjections and do not serve any other grammatical function. Their main purpose is to express emotion, ah, oh, oops, wow, hey, yikes. Secondary interjections. These are words that have a primary meaning in another context but can also be used as interjections to express emotions. Well, sure, seriously, really, great. Example, well, I didn't know that. Well, here expresses a reaction of surprise or uncertainty. Mild versus strong interjections. Mild interjections express emotions in a subtle or controlled way and are often followed by a comma. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, maybe we can try again. Strong interjections express intense or sudden emotions and are typically followed by an exclamation mark. Wow! That's amazing, yikes! That was close. Functions of interjections. Express emotion. The primary function of interjections is to convey the speaker's emotional response. These emotions can range from joy, anger, and surprise to disgust, confusion, and disappointment. Hurrah! We won the game. Joy, ugh. This food tastes awful. Disgust, whoa. That car almost hit me. Surprise, grab attention. Interjections are often used to capture someone's attention or interrupt a conversation. Hey! Can you hear me? Attention grabbing, excuse me, do you have a moment? Polite interruption. Fillers in conversation. Sometimes, interjections serve as fillers or pauses in speech, giving the speaker time to think or express uncertainty. I'm not sure if that's the right answer. Hesitation, well, I guess I could try again. Uncertainty, strengthening a statement. Interjections can add emphasis to a statement, making it more forceful or expressive. Wow! That was the best concert ever. Emphasizing excitement, oh, I see what you mean. Emphasizing understanding. Common examples of interjections. Surprise, wow, oh my, whoa, gosh, wow. That's an incredible view. Joy, hooray, yippee, woohoo. Hooray. We finished the project. Disgust, EW, yuck, ugh, EW. This sandwich tastes awful. Anger/frustration, damn, shoot, drat, damn. I missed my flight. Pain, ouch, ow, ouch. I stubbed my toe. Relief, phew, ah, phew. I thought I lost my keys. Agreement/approval, yes, exactly, right, yes. That's the answer I was looking for. Attention seeking, hey, yo, excuse me, hey. Watch where you're going. Examples of interjections in sentences. Oh no. I left my wallet at home. Yikes. That was a scary ride. Wow. I can't believe how fast you ran, ugh. This traffic is unbearable, hooray. We finally made it to the top of the mountain, oops. I spilled coffee on my shirt. Interjections in literature and dialogue. In literature, interjections are often used in dialogue to reflect a character's emotional state or reaction. They help make dialogue feel more natural and spontaneous, mimicking the flow of real conversation. Example from dialogue, "Hey! Wait for me," shouted Tom, running after his friends. Punctuation with interjections. Interjections can be followed by different punctuation marks, depending on the intensity of the emotion expressed. Exclamation mark, used when the emotion is strong, wow. That's incredible, ouch. That really hurt, comma symbol, used when the emotion is mild or when the interjection is followed by more text, well. I suppose you're right, oh, I didn't know that. Types of sentences using interjections. Exclamatory sentences. When an interjection expresses a strong emotion, the sentence may be exclamatory and end with an exclamation mark, hooray. We won the game, oh no. I forgot my keys. Declarative or interrogative sentences. Interjections can also appear in declarative or interrogative sentences, often using commas or periods. Well, what do you think? Ah, I see what you mean. Summary. An interjection is a powerful tool in language that adds emotional depth to a sentence by expressing feelings or reactions. It can stand alone or be included in a sentence but is not grammatically linked to other parts of the sentence. Interjections can express a wide range of emotions: joy, surprise, anger, disgust, or frustration, and can vary in intensity from mild to strong. In both spoken and written language, interjections help convey the speaker's immediate reaction, making communication more engaging and emotionally expressive. Understanding basic English grammar is essential for effective communication, whether you're speaking, writing, reading, or listening. Grammar provides the rules that govern how words are combined to form meaningful sentences. Here is an overview of the fundamental components of English grammar. 1. Parts of speech. English words are categorized into different parts of speech based on their function in a sentence. The main parts of speech include: A. Nouns. Definition: words that name people, places, things, or ideas. Examples: dog, city, happiness, book. B. Pronouns. Definition: words that replace nouns to avoid repetition. Examples: he, she, it, they, who. C. Verbs. Definition: words that express actions, states, or occurrences. Examples: run, is, seem, become. D. Adjectives. Definition: words that describe or modify nouns and pronouns. Examples: happy, blue, large, quick. E. Adverbs. Definition: words that modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs, often ending in ly. Examples: quickly, very, well, silently. F. Prepositions. Definition: words that show relationships between nouns, or pronouns, and other words in a sentence. Examples: in, on, at, between, under. G. Conjunctions. Definition: words that connect words, phrases, or clauses. Examples: and, but, or, because, although. H. Interjections. Definition: words that express strong emotions or sudden bursts of feeling. Examples: wow, ouch, hey, oh. 2. Sentence structure. Understanding how to structure sentences correctly is crucial for clear communication. English typically follows a subject-verb-object (SVO) order. Basic sentence components: subject, the person or thing performing the action, verb, the action or state of being, object, the person or thing receiving the action, example, she, subject, reads, verb, a book, object. B. Types of sentences, declarative, makes a statement, example, I enjoy reading, interrogative, asks a question, example, do you like coffee, imperative, gives a command or request, example, please close the door, exclamatory, expresses strong emotion, example, what a beautiful day. 3. Verb tenses. Verb tenses indicate the time of action or state of being. English has three main tenses, past, present, and future, each with four aspects. Present tense, simple present, I walk, present continuous, I am walking, present perfect, I have walked, present perfect continuous, I have been walking. B. Past tense, simple past, I walked, past continuous, I was walking. Past perfect, I had walked, past perfect continuous, I had been walking. C. Future tense, simple future, I will walk, future continuous, I will be walking, future perfect, I will have walked, future perfect continuous, I will have been walking. For subject-verb agreement, subjects and verbs must agree in number, singular or plural. Singular subject, the cat runs fast, plural subject, the cats run fast. Note, some subjects may appear plural but are singular, such as collective nouns or subjects joined by and. 5. Articles define nouns as specific or unspecific. Definite article refers to a specific item, example, the book on the table is mine. B. Indefinite articles, and refers to a nonspecific item, use, before consonant sounds, a cat, use, and, before vowel sounds, an apple. 6. Modifiers. Modifiers provide additional information about other elements in a sentence. They should be placed close to the word they modify to avoid confusion. Adjectives and adverbs. Adjective example, the blue sky. Adverb example, she sings beautifully. B. Misplaced and dangling modifiers. Misplaced, incorrect placement causing confusion. Incorrect, she almost drove her kids to school every day. Correct, she drove her kids to school almost every day. Dangling, modifier has no clear subject. Incorrect, running quickly, the finish line was crossed. Correct. Running quickly, she crossed the finish line. 7. Pronouns and their cases. Pronouns change form based on their function in a sentence. A. Subjective case, used as the subject, examples, I, you, he, she, it, we, they. B. Objective case, used as the object, examples, me, you, him, her, it, us, them. C. Possessive case, shows ownership, examples, my/mine, your/yours, his, her/hers, its, our/ours, their/theirs. Example sentence, she, subjective, gave the book to him, objective. It is her, possessive, book. 8. Prepositional phrases. A prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and ends with a noun or pronoun. Example, she sat on the chair. 9. Conjunctions and compound sentences. Conjunctions connect words, phrases, or clauses. Coordinating conjunctions, fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or. Yet, so, example, I wanted to go, but it was raining. B. Subordinating conjunctions, connect dependent clauses to independent clauses. Examples: because, although, since, unless. Example: I stayed home because it was raining. C. Compound sentences consist of two independent clauses joined by a conjunction. Example: I wanted to read, and I found a good book. 10. Passive and active voice. A. Active voice: the subject performs the action. Example: the chef cooked the meal. B. Passive voice: the subject receives the action. Example: the meal was cooked by the chef. Note: active voice is generally preferred for clarity and directness. 11. Direct and indirect speech. Direct speech, quoting the exact words spoken. Example: she said, I am learning English. B. Indirect speech, paraphrasing what someone said. Example: she said that she was learning English. 12. Common grammar tips. A. Use correct verb forms. Ensure verbs match the subject in tense and number. Incorrect: he go to school. Correct: he goes to school. B. Avoid sentence fragments. Ensure each sentence has at least a subject and a verb. Fragment: because I was late. Complete: I missed the bus because I was late. C. Punctuation matters. Use commas, periods, question marks, and other punctuation marks appropriately to clarify meaning. D. Consistent tense. Maintain the same tense throughout a sentence or related sentences unless a shift in time is necessary. Example: incorrect: she was walking to the store and buys some bread. Correct: she was walking to the store and bought some bread. 13. Practice and application. To effectively grasp English grammar, practice is essential. Here are some tips. 1. Read regularly. Exposure to well-structured sentences enhances understanding. 2. Write daily. Practice writing sentences, paragraphs, and essays to apply grammatical rules. 3. Use grammar resources. Utilize grammar books, online exercises, and language apps. 4. Seek feedback. Have others review your writing to identify and correct mistakes. 5. Engage in conversations. Speaking with others helps reinforce correct grammar usage in real time. By familiarizing yourself with these basic grammar components and consistently practicing, you'll build a strong foundation for proficient English communication. The importance of listening in English learning. Listening is one of the foundational skills in language acquisition and plays a pivotal role in learning English effectively. It is often overlooked in favor of speaking, reading, and writing, yet it is the skill that facilitates understanding and communication, which are essential for mastering any language. Developing good listening skills can significantly enhance a learner's ability to comprehend spoken English, improve pronunciation, and expand vocabulary. This essay will explore the various reasons why listening is crucial in English learning, delving into its impact on comprehension, pronunciation, vocabulary acquisition, and overall communication skills. 1. Listening enhances comprehension. Listening is the primary way we receive information in our native language, and it remains equally important in learning a new language like English. When we listen, we are exposed to the natural rhythm, intonation, and stress patterns of the language, which are critical for understanding meaning. Unlike reading, which allows one to revisit and analyze the text, listening requires immediate processing of information, making it a real-time exercise in comprehension. For English learners, this means being able to follow conversations, instructions, and narratives as they unfold, which is a crucial skill for both academic and real-world contexts. Exposure to different accents, dialects, and speaking speeds through listening helps learners become more adaptable in understanding English as it is spoken in various parts of the world. For instance, listening to British English podcasts, American movies, and Australian news broadcasts can train the ear to recognize different pronunciations and vocabulary usage. This versatility in comprehension is essential, especially in a globalized world where English speakers from diverse backgrounds communicate daily. 2. Listening improves pronunciation. Good listening skills are directly linked to accurate pronunciation. By carefully listening to native speakers, learners can pick up the subtle nuances of how sounds are produced, which syllables are stressed, and the rhythm of natural speech. This is particularly important in English, where pronunciation can greatly alter the meaning of words. For example, the difference between desert, a dry region, and dessert, a sweet dish, is a matter of pronunciation. Learners who neglect listening may struggle with these distinctions, leading to misunderstandings. Listening to native speakers provides models for learners to imitate. This process, known as shadowing, involves repeating what is heard as closely as possible. By doing so, learners can practice not only the correct pronunciation of words but also the intonation and cadence of entire sentences. This practice helps develop muscle memory for producing sounds that may not exist in the learner's native language, thereby improving their spoken English over time. 3. Listening aids vocabulary acquisition. One of the most effective ways to acquire new vocabulary is through context, and listening provides ample opportunities for this. When learners hear new words in context, they can often infer their meanings based on the surrounding information. This contextual learning is more effective than rote memorization because it demonstrates how words are used in real-life situations. For example, hearing the word astonished in a sentence like, "She was astonished by the beautiful sunset," helps learners understand that it means being surprised or amazed. Moreover, listening exposes learners to colloquial expressions, idioms, and slang that are not typically found in textbooks. Understanding these elements of spoken English is crucial for engaging in casual conversations and understanding native speakers fully. 4. Listening develops overall communication skills. Effective communication in any language involves not just speaking but also listening actively and responding appropriately. Good listeners are better conversationalists because they can pick up on cues, understand the nuances of what is being said, and provide relevant responses. In English learning, developing good listening skills enables learners to engage in meaningful dialogues, ask clarifying questions, and offer thoughtful replies, all of which are essential for successful communication. Active listening also fosters empathy and cultural understanding, which are important components of communication. By listening to diverse voices and perspectives, learners can gain insights into different cultures and social norms. This cultural competence is particularly important in English, which is spoken by people from a wide variety of cultural backgrounds. Understanding these nuances can help learners navigate social interactions more effectively, whether in academic, professional, or personal settings. 5. Listening supports learning autonomy. Listening to English content independently, such as podcasts, audiobooks, and radio shows, allows learners to take control of their own learning process. This autonomy is crucial for maintaining motivation and consistency in language learning. Unlike traditional classroom settings, where the pace and content are dictated by a curriculum. Independent listening gives learners the freedom to choose topics that interest them, set their own pace, and practice at times that are convenient for them. Additionally, with the proliferation of digital resources, learners have access to a vast array of listening materials suited to different proficiency levels and interests. From beginner-level audio courses to advanced academic lectures, there is content available for every learner. This abundance of resources empowers learners to create a personalized learning environment. 6. Listening enhances listening skills in academic and professional settings. In academic settings, strong listening skills are essential for success. Lectures, seminars, and group discussions all require the ability to follow complex arguments, take effective notes, and ask pertinent questions. For non-native English speakers, the challenge is even greater, as they must do all this while processing information in a second language. Regular listening practice can build the stamina and focus needed to perform well in such environments. In professional settings, listening is equally important. Whether attending meetings, participating in conference calls, or engaging with clients, the ability to understand and interpret spoken English accurately is crucial. Misunderstandings in these contexts can lead to serious consequences, from project delays to strained relationships. By honing their listening skills, professionals can ensure that they are fully engaged and responsive in their interactions, thereby enhancing their effectiveness and credibility. 7. Listening as a gateway to fluency. Ultimately, listening is the gateway to fluency. It is through listening that learners are first exposed to the language, and it remains the primary way they will continue to learn and refine their skills. Fluent speakers are those who can not only produce language accurately but also understand it effortlessly in real time. This level of proficiency comes from extensive listening practice, which trains the brain to process English naturally and efficiently. Fluency involves more than just the ability to speak quickly or without hesitation. It requires the capacity to understand and respond to language in all its complexity. This includes grasping implied meanings, detecting humor or sarcasm, and recognizing cultural references, all of which are best learned through listening. For learners aspiring to achieve true fluency, prioritizing listening practice is essential. Conclusion. In conclusion, listening is a fundamental component of English learning that supports every other language skill. It enhances comprehension, improves pronunciation, aids in vocabulary acquisition, and develops overall communication abilities. Moreover, it fosters learning autonomy, prepares learners for academic and professional environments, and is crucial for achieving fluency. By integrating regular listening practice into their study routines, learners can significantly accelerate their English language development and become more confident and competent speakers. In a world where English is a key medium of global communication, the importance of listening cannot be overstated. This essay covers the main points of why listening is critical for English learning and provides a thorough exploration of each aspect. It emphasizes the multifaceted role of listening in building a solid foundation for language proficiency. Improving your English can be achieved through a combination of strategies that target different skills, including reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Here are some practical tips to help you enhance your proficiency. 1. Reading. Read regularly. Choose books, articles, and blogs that interest you. Start with simpler texts and gradually move to more complex materials. Expand vocabulary. Use a dictionary or a vocabulary app to learn new words. Try to use these words in sentences to reinforce your learning. Read aloud. This helps with pronunciation and understanding sentence structure. 2. Writing. Practice writing daily. Keep a journal, write essays, or blog in English. Focus on expressing your thoughts clearly and accurately. Learn grammar rules. Review common grammar rules and practice them. Use grammar check tools to correct mistakes. Get feedback. Share your writing with others and ask for constructive feedback. Online communities like Reddit's r/English Learning can be helpful. 3. Listening. Watch movies and TV shows. Choose content with subtitles if you're a beginner, then switch to English subtitles, and eventually turn them off. Listen to podcasts and audiobooks. Pick topics that interest you. This can help you get accustomed to different accents and speed of speech. Repeat and mimic. Listen to short clips and try to repeat what you hear. This helps with pronunciation and intonation. 4. Speaking. Practice speaking regularly. Find a language partner through apps like Tandem or HelloTalk, or join English speaking clubs. Use mirror technique. Practice speaking in front of a mirror to build confidence and improve body language. Record yourself. Record your voice and listen to it. This can help you identify areas of improvement. 5. Grammar and usage. Study grammar resources. Use books like English Grammar in Use by Raymond Murphy or websites like Grammarly. Practice exercises. Websites like English Page and BBC Learning English offer interactive grammar exercises. 6. Building confidence. Set achievable goals. Break down your learning into small, manageable goals, such as learning 5 new words a day. Embrace mistakes. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. Don't be afraid to make them, instead, use them as learning opportunities. 7. Engage with native content. Follow social media accounts. Engage with English-speaking content creators on YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter. Join online forums. Participate in discussions on Reddit, Quora, or other forums on topics you like. 8. Language immersion. Change device language. Set your phone, computer, and apps to English to get familiar with common terminology. Think in English. Try to think in English instead of your native language. It helps in forming sentences more naturally. By integrating these methods into your daily routine, you'll gradually see improvement in your English language skills. Consistency and practice are key. Tips for fluency. Achieving fluency in English involves developing the ability to speak, understand, read, and write smoothly and effortlessly. Fluency goes beyond knowing grammar rules and vocabulary. It's about being able to communicate naturally and confidently. Here are some effective tips to help you attain English fluency. 1. Practice speaking regularly. Conversational practice. Engage in daily conversations with native speakers or fellow learners. Use language exchange platforms like Tandem, HelloTalk, or Italki to find partners. Join speaking clubs. Participate in English speaking clubs or groups, either locally or online, to practice in a supportive environment. use language meetups. Attend local language meetups or virtual meetups through platforms like Discord aiming for fluency. 2. Think in English, internal monologue. Try to conduct your internal thoughts in English instead of translating from your native language. This helps in forming sentences more naturally. Daily activities. Narrate your daily activities in English. For example, while cooking, think about the ingredients and steps in English. 3. Immerse yourself in English. Consume media. Watch English movies, TV shows, and YouTube channels. Listen to English music, podcasts, and audiobooks to get accustomed to different accents and speaking speeds. Read aloud. Reading books, articles, or any written material aloud can improve pronunciation and fluency. Change device settings. Set your phone, computer, and social media accounts to English to reinforce vocabulary and usage. 4. Expand your vocabulary. Learn common phrases. Focus on learning phrases and expressions used in everyday conversations rather than just individual words. Use flashcards. Utilize apps like Anki or Quizlet to memorize new words and review them regularly. Contextual learning. Learn new vocabulary in context by seeing how words are used in sentences or real-life situations. 5. Shadowing technique. Listen and repeat. Choose a short audio clip or video, listen carefully, and try to mimic the speaker's pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm simultaneously. Record yourself. Record your shadowing practice and compare it to the original to identify areas for improvement. 6. Focus on pronunciation and intonation. Use pronunciation tools, websites and apps like Forvo, Pronunciation Coach, or ELSA Speak can help you practice and perfect your pronunciation. Practice stress and rhythm. English has a specific stress and rhythm pattern. Pay attention to which syllables are stressed in words and sentences. 7. Engage in active listening. Listen for understanding. Instead of passively hearing English, actively listen to grasp the meaning, context, and nuances. Transcribe audio. Write down what you hear in podcasts or videos to improve listening comprehension and reinforce learning. 8. Use language learning apps. FluentU uses real-world videos to teach language in context. Babbel focuses on conversation skills and practical vocabulary. Rosetta Stone emphasizes immersive learning. Without translations. 9. Set specific fluency goals, SMART goals. Set specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. For example, have a 10-minute conversation in English without hesitation by the end of the month. Track progress. Keep a journal of your practice sessions, noting improvements and areas that need more attention. 10. Reduce dependence on translation, direct association. Associate words and phrases directly with their meanings instead of translating from your native language. Use monolingual dictionaries. Rely on English dictionaries like Merriam-Webster or Oxford to understand definitions without translation. 11. Practice fluency exercises. Timed speaking. Set a timer for 1 to 2 minutes and speak continuously on a topic without stopping. Gradually increase the duration as you become more comfortable. Storytelling. retell stories, events, or personal experiences in English to enhance narrative skills and fluidity. 12. Receive constructive feedback. Language tutors. Hire a tutor who can provide personalized feedback and correct mistakes in real time. Peer feedback. Exchange feedback with language partners or join study groups where members critique each other's speaking and writing. 13. Embrace mistakes and stay confident. Positive mindset. Understand that making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process. Use them as opportunities to improve. Stay persistent. Consistency is key. Regular practice, even in small amounts, leads to gradual and sustained improvement. 14. Engage with native content creators. Interact on social media, comment on posts, participate in discussions, and engage with English-speaking content creators on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter. Follow blogs and forums. Join English language forums related to your interests on sites like Reddit, Quora, or specialized communities. 15. Utilize technology and tools. Speech recognition software, tools like Google Voice Typing or Dragon Naturally Speaking can help you practice speaking and receive instant feedback. Language games. Engage in language games that promote quick thinking and application of vocabulary and grammar. 16. Participate in public speaking. Toastmasters. Join organizations like Toastmasters International to practice public speaking in a structured and supportive environment. Presentations. Prepare and deliver presentations on topics you are passionate about to build confidence and fluency. 17. Learn idioms and slang. Common expressions. Familiarize yourself with English idioms, slang, and colloquial expressions to sound more natural and understand native speakers better. Contextual usage. Learn how and when to use these expressions appropriately in conversations. 18. Maintain a balanced skill set. Integrate skills. Combine reading, writing, listening, and speaking in your practice to develop a well-rounded fluency. Holistic approach. For example, read a book, discuss it with a partner, write a summary, and listen to related podcasts to reinforce learning from multiple angles. 19. Stay motivated and enjoy the process. Find enjoyable content. Choose topics and materials that interest you to make learning enjoyable and sustainable. Celebrate milestones. Acknowledge and reward yourself for achieving your fluency goals to maintain motivation. 20. Seek professional guidance if needed. Enroll in courses. Consider taking advanced English courses focused on fluency and conversational skills, workshops and seminars. Attend workshops that emphasize interactive speaking and listening exercises. Remember, fluency is a gradual process that requires consistent effort and practice. By incorporating these tips into your daily routine and maintaining a positive attitude, you'll steadily enhance your English fluency. Stay patient, stay motivated, and enjoy your language learning journey. Understanding how to use be, being, and been can help you grasp the different aspects of English grammar, particularly when dealing with verb tenses, the passive voice, and continuous actions. Let's break them down individually. 1. Be is the base or infinitive form of the verb. It is used in various ways, including forming tenses, expressing conditions, and linking subjects to complements. Uses of be as an auxiliary verb to form tenses. In the simple future tense, I will be at the office tomorrow. In the imperative mood, be quiet. Giving an instruction or command. With modal verbs, I should be more careful. They might be here by noon. Linking verb, used to describe a state or condition. She is happy. Linking she to the adjective happy. Describes what something is. He is a teacher. Passive voice, the book will be published next year. The action is happening to the subject, but the subject is not doing the action. Examples, I will be there tomorrow. It is important to be on time. They want to be successful. 2. Being is the present participle form of be, and it refers to an action happening in the present or continuous form. It is often used to indicate ongoing action or a state of existence. Uses of being in continuous tenses, used with continuous forms of the verb to show that something is happening over a period of time. He is being rude. Right now, in the present, they were being watched. In the past, they were under surveillance. In the passive voice, continuous, the cake is being baked. Focus on the ongoing action, where cake is the object receiving the action. As a gerund, noun form, being honest is important. Here, being functions as a noun and means the state of being honest. Examples, she is being annoying today. Ongoing action in the present. The project is being managed by a new team. Ongoing action in the passive voice. Being a teacher requires patience. Using being as a noun. 3. Been is the past participle form of be. It is used in perfect tenses to describe actions or situations that started in the past but have a connection to the present. Uses of been, present perfect tense, used to describe actions that happened at an unspecified time in the past but still have relevance now. I have been to Paris. The experience of going to Paris happened before but is relevant now. She has been working here for 5 years. The action started in the past and continues in the present. Past perfect tense describes actions that were completed before another action in the past. They had been friends before the argument. The friendship ended before the argument. Passive voice, perfect tenses, the house has been painted. The house received the action of being painted. Examples, I have been to this restaurant before. Experience. They have been studying for hours. Action continuing. The report has been completed. Passive voice. Summary of differences. Be, used in infinitive forms, future tense, with modal verbs, and as a linking verb. I will be there. Being, used in continuous tenses or as a gerund, often referring to actions or states that are ongoing. He is being helpful. Been, used in perfect tenses or passive constructions to show completed actions or states in the past with present relevance. I have been to the store. Key points to remember. Be, the base form used for various tenses and conditions. Being, used for ongoing actions, continuous tenses, or as a noun, gerund. Been, the past participle used in perfect tenses or passive forms. By mastering the use of these forms, you'll be able to communicate more effectively about different times, states, and actions in English. Difference with active voice. The difference between the active voice and the use of be, being, and been primarily lies in how actions are expressed in a sentence and who performs them. Active voice. In the active voice, the subject of the sentence is the doer of the action, meaning the subject performs the verb. Example of active voice: the chef cooks dinner. Here, the chef, subject, is performing the action of cooks, verb, on dinner, object, passive voice. In the passive voice, the subject of the sentence receives the action instead of performing it. The focus is shifted from the doer of the action to the recipient of the action. How be, being, and been function in passive voice. These forms are frequently used to create the passive voice, especially in different tenses, because the passive voice requires the verb to be followed by the past participle of the main verb. 1. Be. In passive voice, be is used to create the passive in simple tenses. Examples: present simple passive, dinner is cooked by the chef. Here, dinner, the object, is now the subject, and the action is being done to it. Future simple passive, the report will be written by the student. The subject, report, receives the action of being written in the future. 2. Being. In passive voice, being is used in the passive voice when referring to continuous actions. Examples: present continuous passive, the house is being painted. The subject, house, is not painting itself but receiving the action, ongoing, of being painted. Past continuous passive, the car was being repaired yesterday. The action of repairing was happening continuously in the past. 3. Been. In passive voice, been is used in the passive voice with perfect tenses. Examples: present perfect passive, the homework has been done by the students. The action, done, is completed and affects the present, with the subject, homework, receiving the action. Past perfect passive, the contract had been signed before the deadline. The subject, contract, received the action of being signed at some point in the past, before another past event. Comparison of active and passive voice with be, being, and been, active voice, the subject performs the action directly. Active with be, the manager will be at the meeting. Describes a future state of the subject. Active with being, he is being difficult today. Describes an ongoing state of the subject. Active with been, she has been working here for years. Describes an ongoing action that began in the past and continues. Passive voice, the subject receives the action, and the focus shifts to what happens to the subject rather than who performs the action. Passive with be, the document will be signed by the manager. Future tense passive, the action of signing will happen to the document. Passive with being, the documents are being reviewed. Present continuous passive, the reviewing is happening to the documents. Passive with been, the documents have been approved. Present perfect passive, the action of approving is completed, and the result is relevant now. Summary of active versus passive with be, being, and been, active voice, focuses on the doer of the action. The chef cooks dinner. Active, passive voice, focuses on the recipient of the action. Dinner is cooked by the chef. Passive with be, dinner is being cooked. Passive with being, in continuous action. Dinner has been cooked. Passive with been, in perfect tense. Key takeaways: in active voice, the subject is the one doing the action. In passive voice, the subject receives the action, and the forms be, being, and been are crucial in creating passive structures.
Here's a simple guide to help you learn how to order food at a restaurant in English. I've broken it down step by step. 1. Arriving at the restaurant. When you arrive at a restaurant, someone, like a host or hostess, may ask if you have a reservation. Here's how you can respond. If you have a reservation, "Oh, I have a reservation," under the name, your name. If you don't have a reservation, "Oh, I don't have a reservation." Do you have a table for, number of people? 2. When you sit down, the waiter will usually give you a menu and say something like, "Here's the menu. Can I get you anything to drink?" You can respond with, "I would like a drink, please. Can I have a water/coffee/tea?" 3. Looking at the menu. Take your time looking at the menu. When you are ready to order, the waiter may ask, "Are you ready to order? Can I take your order?" You can respond, "Yes, I'm ready. I'd like the name of the dish. I'll have the name of the dish, please." 4. Asking questions. If you need more information about a dish, you can ask questions like, "What's in the name of dish? Can you recommend something? Is this dish spicy/sweet?" 5. Making special requests. If you have special dietary preferences, you can ask, "Can I have this without ingredient? Can you make it vegetarian/vegan/gluten-free? I'm allergic to ingredient. Can you make sure it's not in my dish?" 6. After ordering, the waiter may say, "Would you like anything else?" You can respond with, "No, thank you. That's all for now." 7. After you've finished your meal, when you're done eating, the waiter might ask, "How was everything?" You can say, "It was great, thank you. It was delicious." 8. Asking for the bill. When you're ready to pay, you can ask, "Can I have the bill, please? Can I get the check, please?" The waiter may bring it to you, and you can say, "Thank you." 9. Tipping, optional. In some countries, in many countries, especially in the US, it is customary to leave a tip. A tip is usually 15 to 20% of the total bill. Example conversation, waiter, "Good evening. Do you have a reservation?" You, "No, we don't." Do you have a table for two? Waiter, "Sure, right this way. Here are your menus. Can I get you something to drink?" You, "I'll have water, please." Waiter, "Are you ready to order?" You, "Yes, I'll have the grilled chicken, please." Waiter, "Would you like anything else?" You, "No, thank you." Waiter, "How was everything?" You, "It was great, thank you." You, "Can I have the bill, please?" Let's work on pronunciation and detailed examples for everyday conversations. 1. Pronunciation practice. Here are some common English words and phrases you can practice with, along with tips on how to pronounce them. Hello, oh, say it like, hello. The H is soft, and the stress is on the second part of the word. How are you? Oh, say it like, how are you? The R in R is soft, and you sounds like you. Try not to overpronounce each word, let them flow together naturally. Thank you, oh, say it like, thank you. The TH sound in thank is soft, put your tongue between your teeth slightly, and you sounds like you. Can I have? Oh, say it like, can I have? The can I often blends together in fast speech, so it might sound like can I. 2. Daily conversations with examples. At a coffee shop, you, "Hi, I'd like a coffee, please." Barista, "Sure, would you like it hot or iced?" You, "I'll have it hot, please." Tips for pronunciation. I'd like sounds like I'd like. The I would becomes I'd and flows into like. Please, say it with a soft S, like please. At a grocery store, you, "Excuse me, where can I find the bread?" Shop assistant, it's in aisle 5, near the dairy section. You, thank you so much. Notice how, excuse me sounds like xkyoz me, with a soft, z sound, thank you so much, can be spoken softly and naturally like thank you so much, asking for directions, you, excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the train station? Person, go straight ahead and turn left at the traffic lights. You, thanks for your help. Key phrases here, go straight ahead, pronounced go straight ahead, turn left, make sure left is soft, not too strong, like left. 3. Practice dialogue. Here's an example of a dialogue you can use to practice both pronunciation and sentence structure. At a restaurant, waiter, good evening, how can I help you today? You, good evening. I'd like a table for 2, please. Waiter, sure. Right this way. Here are your menus. Can I get you something to drink? You, yes, I'll have a glass of water, please. Waiter, are you ready to order? You, yes, I'd like the grilled chicken with a side of vegetables. Waiter, great choice. Anything else? You, no, that's all, thank you. In this dialogue, I'd like is pronounced softly as I'd like, that's all sounds like that's all, spoken quickly and together. Here are several practical ways you can practice English more often in your daily life. 1. Practice speaking every day, even if you're alone, practice speaking English daily. Here are some ideas. Talk to yourself in English, describe what you're doing, e.g., I am cooking dinner or I'm going for a walk. Set a goal to speak in English for 10 to 15 minutes each day about different topics, e.g., your day, what you see around you, etc. 2. Use language learning apps. There are many apps that can help you practice speaking English: Duolingo, fun lessons that teach you grammar and vocabulary, HelloTalk or Tandem, you can speak with native speakers and practice English in real time. Busuu offers interactive speaking exercises with feedback. 3. Watch English movies and TV shows. Watch movies or TV shows with subtitles to improve your listening skills and understand how native speakers talk. Start with subtitles in your language and later switch to English subtitles. Try repeating phrases from the show to mimic pronunciation and speaking patterns. 4. Join English speaking groups. Find a language exchange group or conversation club to meet people who are also learning English or native speakers. In-person meetups. Check local libraries, community centers, or websites like meetup.com, online conversation groups. Websites like Speaky, Conversation Exchange, or even Facebook groups offer opportunities to practice English with others. 5. Use English for social media. Engage with social media in English to get more practice. Write posts in English. Share about your day, thoughts, or hobbies. Comment on English-speaking videos on YouTube or social media platforms. Follow English language accounts that interest you, like cooking, technology, or travel. 6. Read aloud. Take a book, article, or news story and read it out loud. Focus on pronouncing words clearly. You can even record yourself and listen to how you sound. 7. Practice with a language partner or tutor. Find a language exchange partner who wants to learn your language while you learn English. You can talk for 30 minutes in English and then 30 minutes in your language. Hire an English tutor or join online classes where you can speak regularly and get feedback on your speaking skills. 8. Write daily in English. Keep a daily journal in English. Write about your day, your plans, or anything you like. Start with simple sentences and, over time, add more details. 9. Practice using flashcards. Use apps like Anki or Quizlet to create flashcards for new vocabulary words. Practice saying the words out loud when you review them to improve your speaking fluency. 10. Shadowing technique. Shadowing is a great method for practicing pronunciation. Here's how to do it. Listen to a native English speaker, on YouTube, podcasts, or TV. Repeat what they say immediately after, trying to copy their accent, intonation, and speaking speed. Do this regularly, and you'll improve both your pronunciation and fluency. 11. Practice with voice assistants. Use voice assistants like Siri, Google Assistant, or Alexa. You can ask questions, set reminders, or have short conversations. This is a fun way to practice pronunciation and get instant feedback. 12. Use podcasts and audio lessons. Listen to English language podcasts, especially those designed for English learners like The English We Speak, BBC, or ESL Pod. Pause the podcast and repeat sentences to practice speaking along. Daily routine example. 1. Morning. Talk about your plans for the day in English. 2. Afternoon. Listen to an English podcast and practice shadowing for 10 minutes. 3. Evening. Watch an English TV show with subtitles and repeat phrases out loud. 4. Before bed, write a short diary entry in English about your day. Practicing English every day will make you more confident over time. Let me know if you'd like help with any specific areas. Improving fluency in English takes consistent practice and exposure. Fluency is the ability to speak smoothly, confidently, and without long pauses, so it's important to work on both speaking speed and accuracy. Here are some effective strategies to improve your fluency. 1. Think in English. One of the best ways to increase fluency is to think in English. Avoid translating from your native language to English in your head. Start with simple thoughts like I need to buy some milk or it's a nice day. Over time, think in full sentences and longer thoughts. 2. Speak out loud regularly. Practice speaking every day, even if you're alone. Talking to yourself in English helps your brain get used to forming sentences quickly. Describe what you're doing. For example, if you're cooking, say, now I'm cutting the vegetables, and next I'll boil the pasta. 3. Shadow native speakers. Shadowing is when you listen to a native speaker and repeat what they say immediately, trying to mimic their speed, rhythm, and pronunciation. Choose a podcast, video, or interview, and repeat after the speaker. This improves both fluency and pronunciation. 4. Use chunks of language. Chunks are groups of words that native speakers use together naturally, like, I'd like to, or, what do you think? Instead of thinking of single words, try learning and using these common phrases. This helps you speak faster and more naturally. 5. Practice with time pressure. Set a timer for 1 to 2 minutes and pick a topic, e.g., my favorite hobby or my daily routine. Speak continuously for the whole time without stopping. This will push you to think and speak faster. Gradually increase the time and try to speak about more complex topics as you improve. 6. Engage in conversations with native speakers. Find opportunities to speak with native or fluent English speakers. You can use apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or join online conversation groups. Don't worry about making mistakes. The goal is to get comfortable speaking continuously. 7. Improve your listening skills. Fluency is closely connected to listening. Listen to native speakers and pay attention to how they link words together, their intonation, and pronunciation patterns. Watch TV shows, movies, and listen to podcasts to expose yourself to different accents and speaking styles. 8. Reduce filler words. Try to avoid using filler words like and too often. These can slow down your speech and make you less fluent. Instead, take short pauses to collect your thoughts if needed. Pauses are natural in conversation and can make you sound more confident. 9. Expand your vocabulary. The more vocabulary you know, the easier it will be to speak fluently. Focus on learning useful, everyday vocabulary and phrases. This way, when you're speaking, you won't have to stop and think of the right word. Use tools like Anki or Quizlet for spaced repetition vocabulary practice. 10. Join English speaking clubs or classes. If possible, join conversation clubs or English speaking classes where the main focus is on speaking. Participating in group conversations will push you to speak more and develop fluency through interaction. 11. Use role-playing exercises. Practice real-life scenarios like ordering food, making an appointment, or giving directions. Pretend you're in a specific situation and speak as you would in that context. If you have a language partner or tutor, you can role-play common situations like interviews, meetings, or social conversations.
Using the with proper nouns follows specific rules, depending on the type of noun. Here's a breakdown of when to use the with proper nouns. 1. Geographical names, countries. Generally, you don't use the with country names, but there are exceptions. Without the France, Japan, India. With the use the with countries that have plural names, the United States, the Netherlands, the Philippines. Descriptive forms, the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, the Czech Republic. Rivers, oceans, seas, and mountain ranges always use the Nile, the Pacific Ocean, the Alps, lakes and individual mountains. Do not use the Lake Victoria. Mount Everest, regions, use the with well-known geographical regions, the Middle East, the Arctic, the Sahara. 2. Buildings, institutions, and organizations, famous buildings or landmarks, use the with well-known buildings or monuments, the Eiffel Tower, the Statue of Liberty, the Taj Mahal. Universities, it depends on how the name is structured. With the use the if university is followed by of the University of Cambridge, the University of California. Without the use no article if the name stands alone. Harvard University, Stanford University. Organizations, usually use the with organizations, the United Nations, the World Health Organization. 3. Newspapers and media outlets, use the with most newspaper names, the New York Times, the Washington Post. Without the, sometimes with magazines or other media outlets, Time Magazine, National Geographic. 4. Famous works of art, literature, and music, use the with the titles of famous works, if it's part of the title, The Lord of the Rings, the Mona Lisa. Without the for some works where the is not part of the title, Harry Potter, Romeo and Juliet. 5. People's names, without the, never use the with most people's names, Barack Obama, Albert Einstein. With the, use the, in specific cases to indicate a famous family or to differentiate between people with the same name, the Obamas, the Kennedys, the Michael Jordan I know. 6. Proper noun modifiers, when a proper noun is modified by an adjective, use the Great Wall of China, the famous Beatles song. 7. Organizations with descriptive names, use the when an organization's name describes its function, the International Red Cross, the National Gallery. In summary, the is often used with descriptive or plural proper nouns, specific landmarks, institutions, and works of art, while singular names, like people, cities, individual lakes, and countries, typically don't use it unless the name itself requires it. Is the always necessary? No, the is not always necessary, and whether you use it depends on specific rules, context, and the type of proper noun you're referring to. Here's a deeper look into when the is necessary, optional, or inappropriate. 1. Situations where the is necessary, geographical names, certain types, use the with specific kinds of geographical names, rivers, seas, oceans, mountain ranges, the Nile, the Atlantic, the Rockies, plural countries or regions, the United States, the Netherlands, the Himalayas, famous landmarks and buildings. Often, the is essential, the Statue of Liberty, the White House, the Eiffel Tower. Newspapers almost always include the New York Times, the Guardian. Organizations and institutions use the when the name describes the organization's function or has a specific structure, the United Nations, the World Bank, the European Union. Families or famous groups, use the for plural family names or notable groups, the Obamas, the Beatles. 2. Situations where the is not necessary, people's names, never use the with most individual names, Barack Obama, Taylor Swift, Nelson Mandela. Cities, towns, and countries, mostly singular, the is usually unnecessary with the names of cities and singular countries, Paris, Tokyo, India, Brazil, universities and colleges, depending on structure. Without the, use no article for most institutions where university is followed by a proper noun, Harvard University, Stanford University, with the, use the only if the institution name is University of X, the University of Oxford, the University of Texas, lakes and individual mountains. Do not use the with lakes or individual mountain names. Lake Michigan, Mount Everest, magazines and other media. Many magazine names do not require the Time, Vogue, Forbes. 3. Optional or contextual use of the countries with descriptive names. Sometimes, the can be optional depending on formality or style. The Sudan, older usage, versus Sudan, the Gambia, often used with the versus Gambia, famous people in certain contexts. The can be used when referring to a famous person or family in a particular, notable way. The Michael Jackson we knew, distinguishing from another person with the same name. The Clintons are known for their political influence, artistic or historic titles, when discussing artistic or historic figures. You might use the to highlight their role or significance. The Great Shakespeare. 4. Stylistic variations. In journalism and casual speech, the may be dropped in headlines or short forms. UN meets today, instead of the UN meets today. Conclusion. The is not always necessary. It depends on the specific noun and context. The article is mandatory for some types of nouns, for example, plural country names or rivers, unnecessary for others, for example, individual names, cities, and optional or contextual in certain cases, for example, artistic titles or famous groups. Knowing the rules helps decide when it's appropriate to use or omit the. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you learned something new today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell notification so that you never miss on new updates. Have a nice day.